Oh, shit. What's up, Daniel? Oh, there's a horrible echo. What's going on? Just for me. Okay. Yeah, let's go Texans, dude. I didn't bet. All right, you guys want to see something fun? You guys want to see something fun? You ready for this shit? You ready for this shit? We got a little surprise. I'm in the crack den, dude. I'm in the old Hunter Biden crack den. That's right, motherfuckers. My janky ass setup. Oh, you tried Fest was today? Really? Today? Damn, alright, we're getting ready for baseball already. Shit. Alright, let's get into this shit. Damn. It's too cold, man. It's too cold for baseball right now. All right, yeah, what's going on with everybody, dude? It's always hard in a new setting to get your it's really hard to get shit going. I feel really fucking weird right now. And being in a new setting. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with this type of thing, but it's weird, man. It's weird. You just don't feel like in your normal self. But yeah, we got some football today, obviously. We're down to the Elite 8. So that's fun. I think it was a surprise to see some of these teams here, like the fucking Buccaneers and Packers. I don't know how they got there. Texans, yeah, I think a lot of people felt like they could win a playoff game at this point. Damn, Ravens D looking aggressive. That's what she said. Fuck, already. I don't know. So you have to think of this game in terms of, you know, I'm looking at what happened last week with the Texans versus the Browns, and the Texans putting up massive plays and consistency against the top defense in the NFL. But you have to remember the Browns were hurt. They were missing guys, even though their starters had a bye week because they didn't play nobody against Cincinnati. Oh shit, CJ going for it on third down. He's going to take it himself and just. Ooh, that was dangerous, bro. If you're not going to for sure get that first down, dude, early in the game, man, that's not the time. It's hard to think about that kind of stuff, though. I don't want to be an armchair quarterback. I know a lot of people would say that, but it's like, it's a heat of the moment decision. The dude, you can only process so much information in a small amount of time. But yeah, I figured I'd pop in. I don't know how many people are going to be out there watching YouTube streamers for this game. I know so far for the playoffs and for the college football playoffs, it's been pretty hot. So I figured I'd pop in, even though I'm chilling with some family this week. So yeah, share the fucking video. So it's please like and subscribe so it's worth my time away from family. But yeah, no, I'm glad to do it. All right, let's get our little ticker going. Yeah, I didn't, dude, like it was all different, like the setup and everything. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I just have 2 laptops. I had to do some shit, but I was listening to some Lamar Jackson interviews right before this as I was taking my hot bath. I don't know, man. You know, I do a lot of conspiracy theories around here. He kind of sounds like a white man. He sounds white as hell. Like if you didn't, If you just heard the voice, I don't know, at least in my opinion. Now, I don't know, has any white man ever been able to run that fast? I would think so. I would think that there would be some Olympic sprinters and shit, right? Like, is it even possible for a white person to, like, the laws of physics? A white man cannot do what Lamar Jackson does. It's just not possible. I don't know, a couple early thoughts in this game, kind of like pregame type of stuff, and we'll see what happens in real time. But I mean, the Ravens had like what? They did not play in their last week, so they had 2 weeks off. They had a long time off, and what we saw from the Cleveland Browns is probably a little bit of rust against the Texans last week. They were a little rusty because their starters didn't play against Cincinnati. Like, that happens. Now, with that said, I wouldn't put too much weight on that, because if you think about it, the dudes at one point have 7 months off. You play your last football game at the end of the year, and then it's 7 months between the next one. So it's like, okay, you can, it's like the first week of the year, but teams come out looking sloppy in the first week. It tends to be a weird week of football. Lots of surprises. Ravens looking pretty smooth here, man. I mean, they had so much time to get ready for this shit. They knew they were either playing the Browns or the Texans. They probably looked at a little bit of stuff for both of them. And then when it got decided, they could really ramp it up. It is interesting to finally see the Ravens kind of rolling on all cylinders. I know Mark Andrews is kind of iffy, but I mean, last year we had Tyler Huntley in the divisional round and they almost won. As you know, they had a backup quarterback. Huh. Would the Ravens have won the Super Bowl if Joe Flacco was their quarterback last year? Would they I get they would have had to totally switch their offense up, but they could have done it. That's interesting. If they would have, when Lamar got hurt and probably wasn't going to come back, they should have scooped him up. I mean, I guess he was technically on the Jets, but you could always like do it. I guess it was too late in the year to trade. I don't know. The Jets might have cut him or put him on the practice squad. Oh, come on. These owners, dude. They could get in cahoots. The owner could be like, yo, I mean, I'll pass you $3 million if you let me if you drop Flacco. It's like some fantasy football collusion. No, I think if you get caught doing that, you get in so much trouble. And I bet you all communication between owners or GMs or any kind of person who's going to negotiate or work out deals, I guarantee you that shit's recorded. I guarantee. I don't think they can talk on private lines. So, like, when something sketchy happens, there usually is an investigation. I bet you they have to do something like that. I mean, we could look it up. That is kind of interesting, though, because in all feasibility, if you're a GM, you could be like, dude, I'll throw you. Like, for small transactions, nobody's going to drop Lamar Jackson. But for a smaller transaction, like, yo, drop this backup lineman. We really need him. Like, we really like this guy and we need him. Okay, text me next time. Yeah, I don't know. Do NFL GMs like how does the NFL safeguard from collusion? Lamar on 3rd and 12 trying to get that comeback route, can't get it. Bateman goes down. Huh. All right, so Ravens with a good offensive drive early, but the Texans defense getting just enough pressure there. Young Will Anderson, man. What a draft, dude. Is that one of the best draft classes of all time, the Texans 2023 draft this year? Oh, shit. Dude, Tucker in the playoffs? All right, Tucker in the divisional round? This is when he misses. Watch. Nah, it's down the middle, bro. Fuck that. He had an extra 10 yards on that shit. Why did I even say that, man? You should just think automatic. I don't know. He was pretty hot. He was pretty hyped up. That's not a high probability kick at all. That was actually probably like 70% chance that he was going to miss. Shitty weather, some wind. It's the playoffs. You haven't kicked in a game in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Huh. No, this did not help. This did not help. How does the NFL prohibit collusion yeah, it's what is it, the CBA? There's obviously no criminal implications if you do collusion. I don't. It would be a civil case though, and they've had civil cases, man. They've taken this shit to actual court with issues in the NFL. Oh, of course. What do you think they're gonna bring up here? Freaking Colin Kaepernick. Leadership and advocacy for equality and social justice. No, I'm not talking about collusion like that. Oh my God, get out of here. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how they would really stop a GM. Like last year, for example, how would they stop the Ravens GM from talking to the Jets GM being like, yo, I'll personally give you $1 million fucking dollars. I'll give you $2 million if you just drop Joe Flacco right now and we can pick him up. But then he would have to go through waivers and somebody else could pick him up. I don't think anybody would have. Because I feel like last season, I get that Tyler Huntley's pretty good as a backup in this offense. But wouldn't the Ravens been better suited if they would just switched up the offense after Lamar got hurt with Joe Flacco? I don't know. But yeah, there's got to be something. Like they have to do like all trade negotiations have to happen on like a tapped line or something. Or is it really something in law where like are they somehow involved with the US judiciary system? And they can like tap your phone, like they can go through the police. Like it becomes like a police thing. And they tap your phone, they tap a GM's phone and find that he was doing a shady deal. I don't know, man. Look, something about the DOJ right here. Yeah, unreasonably restrained trades. See, this is all. What do you? Yeah, of course you type in collusion NFL, you get a bunch of bullshit about Colin Kaepernick. Because weird shit doesn't happen like that. It's not like anybody like. It's not like fantasy football where you have collusion. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, where somebody drops a player, and everyone's kind of thinking, "Why the hell did you drop that player?" And then the Ravens, swoop him up all of a sudden. Like a shitty team drops a player, and then a good team picks him up. Last year would have been Jets dropping Joe Flacco, Ravens picking him up. That would have been interesting. The Ravens got close. Who were they up against? I think Kansas City. It was a really close game. Yeah, it was Ravens versus Kansas City, and Cincinnati versus the Bills. Yes, and then Cincinnati won, and Kansas City Chiefs won. A very close game against the Ravens, with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. And that's the thing about the Ravens this year. They shouldn't be a surprise. They were in the divisional last year without their starting quarterback and some other key players. Had they had Lamar Jackson, they might have, I don't know, they might have won the Super Bowl because they would have knocked out the Chiefs right there. They would have won that game if they had Lamar. Oh, shit. CJ is just going to throw one up, and his running back has got it, Singletary. Singletary has paid off well. And dude, the Bills, man, the Bills look like fucking idiots. The Bills got rid of Singletary and Zach Moss. They had that was their running backs. Both those guys went on to have success on other teams. Even when Taylor came back for the Colts, they were still giving Zach Moss some looks. Like they were splitting carries. So this dude's good enough to split carries with Jonathan Taylor. Devin Singletary totally stole Dameon Pierce's job. Now, Pierce had some injuries. So, I mean, and now they have that James Cook, the young guy. I mean, he's all right, but I don't know. Would you rather have James Cook or Singletary and Moss? I mean, it's pretty simple. I guess maybe the financial side of it. I don't know what Moss and Singletary are getting paid. I know they're not getting paid much because they're running backs. This might be a little tough for the Texans in the weather. Their offense has not come out like it did last week. Not at all. But on this drive, CJ's 404 for 49 yards, so he's got it cooking. I'll just pass all day. Keep passing on these guys. The weather doesn't seem to affect these high-octane passing offenses anymore like it used to. I mean, shit, dude. There was a cold weather game, and although the Bills had one recently where Allen only had like 94 passing yards or something like that, or it might have been less. There used to be those games where the quarterbacks would have like 60 passing yards, and they'd run the ball 50 times. But now, like you saw the Dolphins and Chiefs last week in 0-degree wind chill weather. And they're both still slinging the ball around the yard. They're doing their thing. The hell was the flag for? Intentional grounding. Oh, CJ got in trouble. I don't know. It looked like them dudes running routes or kind of in the vicinity. They all got that bullshit on the back of their helmets now because it's playoffs. I haven't seen any of that social justice bullshit all year. All right, well, let's see it, CJ. 3rd and 16. He's kind of fucked. And they did a false start. Oh, boy. Well, there you go. You go 4-4 for 49 yards and then an intentional grounding plus a false start, and you're pretty screwed. This drive's over. Although last week the Texans did kind of convert a couple of deep ones. Some 3rd and 14s. But I don't know. I think there's some sports news to talk about. Let's see here. Let's just check up. Is there any NFL news that like popped up today? All right, CJ's trying to get it done here. Throwing as he gets sacked. Gets it off. Well, that's nice. I mean, that's good to not take a sack, but that's an incomplete pass. They're going to have to punt after all that. I mean, they are at the 50-yard line, dude. They should have ran something short on 3rd down and set up for like a 4th and 5. Although they would have had to get 16 yards to set up a 4th and 5. I want to see somebody go for like a 70-yard punt because these guys or 70-yard field goal or something. Because these guys are kicking 50-yarders, and it looks like they got an extra like into the net, an extra 10 to 15 yards. Let's open it up a little bit. What is the longest attempted field goal of all time? Probably Justin Tucker, and he probably made it. I was kind of right. 66 yards for Justin Tucker. Yeah, that game was weird. That Detroit Lions game in 2021. I remember that. So 66 is the longest. Man, if Tucker could make a 66-yarder, you would think like 60 would be the new 50. 50 was like, he might get it in there maybe. And the team would put a return man back there. But I guess the old sea bass, Sebastian Janikowski, the sea bass. He tried a 76-yarder. Let's find that. I want to see that. Let's see the sea bass miss a 76er, dude. I think he held the record before Justin Tucker made that 66-yarder. I think the sea bass held the. Let's watch some kicker highlights, bro. What do you know? All right, so here, Jamarcus Russell, he's like, fuck it, dude. I don't want to. He's like, I don't want to throw this Hail Mary, coach. I'm cool on that. Oh, is that McDaniels? The only person in history to try a 70-plus yarder. You already know Josh McDaniels is the head coach. No, wait, that's Lane Kiffin. Was he their coach? Is that Lane Kiffin? I'm surprised Bama didn't get Lane Kiffin as their coach. What the fuck's up with that? Lane Kiffin was a Bama dude for a minute, and now he's over at Ole Miss, causing problems for Alabama. He's putting together a pretty good team. They've been like a top 15 team the last since he got there. So who knows? I mean, he's a huge name, NFL and college experience. Look at how far back that is. That looks insane, dude. Oh, shit. Okay, he came how many yards short? It went down at like the 4-yard line. So 14 plus the. He probably came like, that's what she said. He probably came like like 20 yards short. So it would have been good from 56 if it was online. Yeah, that wasn't even close. See, that's a dumb coaching call because he had to know, like the Seabass, Janikowski had to know, like, coach, dude, I can't kick a 76-yarder. This is pointless. We're just going to give them a free return, which I don't even know. Did they actually end up returning this? Because those field goal returns are dangerous plays for the kicking team because they got on the kick blocking, like your kick squad to block for the field goal. That's mostly linemen. You see how he was just like nonchalant, kind of chill with it, trying to find a lane because nobody was coming down on him. That's all linemen. That dude was dumb. That guy was a dumbass. He could have went. So you got to start running, bro. You got to start going. You can't hesitate like that. If he would have ran that way and might been able to cut it up, and he's just going so fast that them linemen can't get him. I don't know. Was that ref that I hate? What's it? John Hussey? You fucking hussy. All right, well, Ravens ended up having to punt, pin back in their own territory, so here we go. Man, Texans seem to think that punt went out of bounds at like the 50. That would be huge. Yeah. Yeah, they're giving them real good field position. Like the 45. Oh, young Phillip River. Isn't it interesting? It's interesting to see the dudes when they were like young. They don't even look the same. It's kind of fun to think about like what will Justin Herbert look like in 10 years? These young quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger kind of looked the same the whole time. He just looked like a cheeseburger eating motherfucker throughout his whole career. All right, let's check the news, man. See if there's any NFL news, injuries for these next games. I don't know. Could be anything. All right, so Mike McCarthy, that is kind of interesting. A lot of people think that he should be fired, but he had 3 straight seasons where they won 12 games. So is that really is that a guy that you fire? I don't think so. I get that they said they hadn't won a playoff game. I thought they won 1 playoff game during all this, right? The last 3 years for the Cowboys. But he's going to coach the 24 season on an expiring contract. I mean, in the other years, the games were close. But this year they got lambasted and potentially maybe I think most people were thinking McCarthy was out just because of how bad that went. I don't understand how you could have such a good team like the Cowboys had all year and then shit the bed against Jordan Love and the Packers. But Jordan Love and the Packers really figured things out. It appears Jordan Love, that first round potential, man, it never went anywhere. The thing, if Jordan Love was only a rookie, he would get a lot more respect. They'd be like, dang, this guy's only a rookie. This guy's good. He's going to be good. He's going to have a good future. Now, I think most football fans would tell you, yeah, Jordan Love, this is a good player for the future and deserves to be the Packers franchise quarterback moving forward. But I have seen some haters. I've still see some haters out there on Jordan Love. But yeah, I mean, he's a first round draft pick getting his opportunity. So what if it was a few years ago? He wasn't going to beat out Aaron Rodgers in practice. That's not going to happen. I mean, I guess people point to the games that he did have to fill in for Aaron Rodgers and kind of say, well, he didn't do so well in those games. I was somewhat surprised that he turned up at the end of the year. I was not surprised that he had a decent season. I figured that's what it was going to be. I didn't see this coming where suddenly he is throwing darts all over the place, reading the Cowboys defense, picking it apart like a seasoned veteran. And Cowboys defense was top 5 in the NFL. You know, Micah Parsons, all those guys. They're good. But then they must have done something on defense too, because they totally pretty much slowed down the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys scored 16 in the fourth quarter, but damn. Oh, Dalton Schultz just dropped a pass. It was bad. Is he drunk? He just stumbled and fell like he was drunk, dude. He's like, I always play like this in cold. I always get drunk for cold games. It makes me play better. Not that time. I guess the guy kind of pushed him. I mean, it's not that crazy a thing. Josh Gordon used to, what, they said he would have like 4 to 5 drinks before the game. And that's just, dude, anyone who's an alcoholic or has been an alcoholic at some point in their life knows about it's 4 or 5 beers. Okay. You got to double whatever number they say, you double it. Yeah, he probably would have like 8 drinks and then he'd smoke a blunt. I don't know why would he? I guess he didn't give a shit, huh? Why isn't this charging? It's never mind. He was just a super athlete and he didn't give a shit. But it's like, if you're gonna get high before the game, get like a vaporizer, get that volcano thing. You're gonna be smoking a blunt, dude. That's not good for your lungs. I think he must have trained hard though. That's the thing. The dude was not only was he a druggie and shit, but he was into working out. Because if you look at Josh Gordon now, it's not the same. He is not the same dude. He is okay. He looks like just an average NFL receiver now. You can see he's playing for like the Seattle Dragons or some shit in the XFL. I seen his highlights the other day. They're pretty good, but you see his arms and his body. It's not the same. You're not born with that. Like LeBron James, for example, a lot of people say, oh, God-given talent, this and that. Like, you have to go to the gym to look like that. You have to work out hard to look like that and do things right with your nutrition. Some people are blessed and it's a little bit easier for some. Some people have the good genetics, but you have to put in the work. So Gordon, he doesn't seem to be a gym junkie anymore because he's not shredded, or maybe just because he got older, age catching up with him a little bit. I don't know. But that's the whole thing about Gordon. Yeah, you could say he was a druggie and all that, and you can't call him lazy though. Sure, maybe he was getting drunk doing, 10 to 20 drinks a day and a couple blunts. But he was also hitting the weight room and eating healthy. Oh boy. Oh man, that pass nearly intercepted. Kyle Hamilton just really fucked one up bad. He had it in his hands. CJ's like, thank you, God. He is a man of the Lord. I saw a lot of people were outraged at NBC Sports because NBC Sports posted a clip of CJ Stroud's post-game interview last week, win against the Browns. And the first thing he said was, I want to give thanks to the Lord. Without him, none of this would be possible, which is kind of bullshit. But I mean, if you want to believe that, it's fine. But yeah, they cut that out. They had that interviewer ask that question, and then they pivoted to a different part of the interview that would make sense. Like then he said, like, and a big shout out to my teammates and stuff like that. So they kind of screwed him. He's, because that would have been a good look. You can get a lot of fans for talking about the Lord. A lot of people that watch sports and football are on the right wing side politically. And typically those people are religious as well. So you have this young kid coming in there amongst all these, so-called punks. A lot of them kind of are. And then CJ's talking about the Lord. It's like, okay, you're gonna get some people like watching you for that. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I only watch CJ Stroud. Who would be the quarterback if you were like, what if you only watched sports based on religion? Who would be the team you wouldn't watch? Let me think. Who's like the biggest? Who's the craziest quarterback? I don't know. I've never heard Tom Brady say anything about God, and he's pretty successful. Damn, 50-yarder for the Texans is good. So trading 50-yarders. Oh, I was watching something very interesting today. It was the Super Bowl 5 in color. Check this shit out. No, this was 1969. I think they may have had color TV back then. But I don't know. I think that they just like updated the colors so it looked better. It was pretty neat that you can go back in history and bring something to life now and kind of make it look more like it really looked. And you get that feel of what things really look like back then. Because you see things in black and white, it's kind of like, you don't get that emotion from it. Let me try and find this real quick here. Okay.
I'm outside.
Okay, thank you. The hell's my history? I think the most interesting part was to see Joe Namath. Joe Namath was doing the pregame interview for the Super Bowl, and you could like see his teeth. Back in the day on TV, you couldn't see as well, but you could really see this dude having nice teeth because he was kind of the old school pretty boy. Here we go. Yeah, Namath, and he had some nice teeth. Look at these teeth, man. See, like we've all seen pictures of Joe Namath in the past, but when you really see him in color, it's like, damn, he really was like the quarterback that all the chicks were into. Oh, great, there goes Lamar Jackson. I haven't seen that yet, but you knew it was coming. I mean, just the imagery, and then I honestly, straight up, was more entertained watching this than I would a modern day Super Bowl production. It's just more raw and really about football. Yes, you saw some. It did have some of the commercials. I don't know if he cut out commercials to make it more watchable, but you want to see the commercials though. You want to see these old commercials. So he kept some of them in, but I don't know if this guy cut out all the commercials. But the commercials would last 30 seconds, if that. They'd have one commercial and then it would be back to the broadcast. Yeah, so far not much going on, Derpy. That's the first quarter of a lot of NFL games though. Could be 0-0. And even though this game I was watching, the Super Bowl 5, this was boring. It was a boring game, but for some reason I was more entertained to see like the old style of football. And it wasn't like every 5 seconds, you know how they do here's Lamar Jackson's stats sponsored by Pepsi. And you really had to pay attention back then because you couldn't just go on your internet and look up another team and see who the best players were. If you wanted to be knowledgeable about football, you had to either read a lot of newspaper, like the sports section every day, or watch all these games and actually pay attention to what they're saying. And they had a band. They had a band for pregame. It wasn't all this, you know, sexuality, dancing stuff. Hippity hoppity, teeny bopper. It was a band. This is the Super Bowl. They used to have that was like the big thing. They brought out a band with the NFL shield. And then they had these big blow up things because you couldn't do CGI and have all this fancy shit, or they didn't have the same type of pyrotechnics and stuff like that. So they just had these giant blow up things. Let's see here. Where's the big blow up things? Yeah, look at these fucking things. And it's fun to watch. It's entertaining to see this thing blow up. So just the way that people were entertained in earlier in our history. This is 1969. Or I guess it's I thought it was 1969. That said 1971. Okay, so it's at 1971. Close. But even the scoreboard and stuff like that, everything was just a little simpler and kind of less in your face. I don't know. It was just more relaxing, and it took more of my it drew me in more. I feel like with modern television productions, there's too much bullshit going on. And I mean, when the game actually gets going and the game's going, you know, the only bad thing now is the commercials. And it is nice to see, like, this doesn't even have the scoreboard. Look, they're playing football in the middle of the play. This is the feed. There's no scoreboard, no nothing. It's just the camera. The only time they show an infographic is right before they go to commercial. They'll show like 3-3 or something. But yeah, this guy did not have this color, or this guy did not have this put on Creative Commons, so I'm only going to show a little bit of it. He could technically come after me for using this. All he really did is run something through DaVinci editor. All he did, he stole this video from NFL Films and then ran it through an editor to recolor it. It's not like he sat there and had to adjust the color of everything. It wasn't that hard to make. What did he do? Topaz Video AI. And then he ran it through DaVinci Resolve. I guess he color graded it. But that doesn't mean he went through each. Nah, he just was messing with the saturation and stuff. But that's pretty neat. And he's got a lot of stuff. This guy, this Dave Volsky. I would follow this guy if you're into history of sports and that kind of thing. I mean, he's got all sorts of Super Bowls and that. All right, 3rd and 1 for the Ravens. They're just going to hand it off up the middle. Good idea. It's going to work. Texans defense wasn't ready for him. As a Browns fan, I know that the Ravens can be rather frustrating to try to stop on 3rd downs because you're worried about Lamar Jackson and it opens things up. They didn't bring up their safeties or nothing, though. They didn't stack the box. Almost worried that they were going to try to pass. I don't think the Rays, do they even do, they do the tush push sometimes. Was Mark Andrews out for this game? I didn't end up catching that. Yeah, he's out. Okay, I figured. I haven't seen him out there yet, so I figured he's out. Yeah, now they're just, as soon as I bring it up, they start showing it. You know, you should be fine without your tight end, but he's Mark Andrews, so it does make a big difference. Well, they're inside the 20 now. Trying to keep this thing on the ground. This is hype, though, because games like this, everybody's rooting for the Texans. Unless you're a Ravens fan, obviously. Most people want to see the underdog. And I mean, the Ravens haven't been in a Super Bowl in a while, so I guess, you know, they're good every year. I suppose they deserve it one. To put together a great team every year. Oh, there goes Lamar on 3rd and 5, scampering down to the 2-yard line. Easy. Easy pickings, man. He drops back to pass, and he's like, fuck it, Odell Beckham Jr. is not out there. I'm just going to take it myself. Nah, Zay Flowers is their main dude. Where is Odell? I've seen him out there maybe one time. He doesn't like the cold. Nah, he played in New York to start his career. Give him a break. All right, we'll see if Texans can get a goal line stand here. I think the Browns were only inside the 10 twice, and they scored 2 touchdowns last week. So I don't think they only had 2 opportunities, though, for the Texans to get a stop down there. But yeah, if you're the Ravens, you got Lamar Jackson, you can't score a touchdown right here. Come on. Who do you think's going to score? Oh, Lamar's going to throw it, and he's got Nelson Aguilar. He just doesn't go away, does he? He always finds a home. He's a bust, though. He was a first-round pick by the Eagles. Never really panned out for them, then he's floated around. Raiders, Patriots. I like Nelson Aguilar, though. He keeps working. Keeps getting paychecks. He might be a bust. Eagles fans might hate him, but for the most part. A lot of guys that are first-round draft picks are either studs or dog shit at the receiver position. You don't have many guys that come in and get drafted in the first round and just have like ho-hum, decent, borderline star player careers. I mean, maybe like Michael Crabtree, but it's usually one way or the other. Like you're either Justin Jefferson or Kevin White. No in between. There's a little in between. But yeah, could you really call, is Nelson Aguilar a draft bust? I mean, he was a first rounder, and he kind of has topped out in his career as a wide receiver 3. But he's had good seasons as a wide receiver 3 and been very helpful to his teams. So, I mean, at that point, you did draft a guy that has been helpful. Maybe he wasn't super helpful to the Eagles, and they kind of invested that first-round draft pick, and they could have picked someone else, sure. But you got a pretty, dependable guy. I don't think he's spent any years on the couch. He's had a team every year. Oh, there's a new Marky Mark movie, Arthur the King. He goes, it's just a love story with his dog. It's just a dog movie. Mark Wahlberg. All the movies Mark Wahlberg's been in. And you're telling me he's going to be in some movie where he plays with his dog and goes kayaking? That's really all I saw there in the preview. Mark Wahlberg has a dog. You remember that South Park bit where they what was it again? Rob Schneider is a duck, and the duck becomes president. And when he talks, shit comes out of his mouth. It's just a duck with poop flying out of his mouth. This fall in a theater near you. Mark Wahlberg's dog tips him over in a kayak, and you'll go watch it because it's Mark Wahlberg. You'll go pay $30 or whatever the fuck movies cost these days this summer. It'd be kind of scary to live on the ocean. Baltimore, they're kind of on the ocean. That's a big body of water, man. That could you get a little earthquake out there, a little tsunami, you're done. I wouldn't really want to hang around there like consistently. But they don't really get tsunamis up north, huh? White people have never seen a tsunami. We don't even know what it fucking is. Are tsunamis racist then? I guess a tsunami would be kind of racist. Like, when is a tsunami taking out a large amount of white people? It seems to only attack. Dude, that's a problem. Mother Nature, dude. That's a problem. Why don't people complain about that? I bet you they will. Give it 5 years. 5 more years, and it's gonna get ridiculous. People are gonna be like complaining, tsunamis, dude. They're gonna start calling like anything racist. An object. They do that with some objects. A rope is racist. Kind of is, to be honest. A rope is a little rape. A noose for sure, maybe might have some. But I mean, hanging has been used as a way to give people the death sentence in pretty much every single culture throughout history. But so it's stupid. It has the racial imagery in our country. It's one of those bullshit things, like even slavery. And I know that's very controversial, but there have been many different cultures of people utilized as slaves. It's not just one race was the slaves. Like, you say slave and people think black people. Like, that's everybody's been utilized. I think the Chinese had it worse, man. In fact, and the other thing too is, like, slavery isn't even dead. There's still a lot of slavery in our world. You think about sex trafficking, that's hell, man. That shit is rampant and it's getting worse. And they push that shit. Why do you think everything is so, the media is so sexualized nowadays? Everything is so sexy and sexualized. What do you think the effect that's going to have? It's going to increase the demand in prostitution, which is going to open up new opportunities of revenue for people that are willing to do that kind of shady ass shit. Traffic people. My Lord. Yeah, we care about the problems everybody cares about nowadays are like stupid. You don't care about child sex trafficking, but you're going to sit here and yell about this and that. Everybody knows the popular issues nowadays. It's stupid. I get that everybody's going to, talk about the Epstein list and who is on the Epstein list. Well, why don't we actually start trying to do something about sex trafficking? And I should probably shut my mouth because people that talk about that stuff seem to go missing. I should probably shut up. I kind of want to stay alive. The best running back in the game, Lamar Jackson. He is. Yeah, it looks like Houston just stalled out on offense, so they're in that area where you start to get scared a little early. Ravens just had a good offensive possession. You could go down 17-3 right here. What are the odds makers saying at this point? Probably not good. Hey, if you want to bet the Texans, might be the time to do so. Yeah, plus 800. I got $1 for that, dude. Why not? At that point, like, why not? It's just $1. At the same coin, though, you might as well flush $1 down the toilet because they're gonna lose. Ravens are gonna win. Sorry, hate to break it, hate to spoil it for everyone. Yeah, give me a plus 800 money line. I'm gonna bet that right now. I'll get $2 to win 16. Yeah, got it. I could use that. All right, but what else? McCarthy's gonna get another chance. Let's see. If I remember correctly, he's won a playoff game there. They had a year where they won in the wild card. Let's see. It would have made things interesting for the coaching carousel because I assume you go 12-5 3 years in a row and somebody's going to pick you up. I mean, they had the 9th best SRS. I get that the team's pretty stacked, so you can't just automatically point to good coaching, but it takes two to tango. It might have been one and done last year. Nah, see, look, yeah. I heard that they're dumb, dude. They said on the radio that Mike McCarthy, they said 3 straight one and dones in the playoffs. 3 straight like first round exits. And that's not true. Because last year they won that wild card against Tampa Bay. It was Tom Brady's last huzzah. But then they lost to San Fran, but it was close. It was a 7-point football game. And then the year before, big series for the Texans D. Nice play on first down, but little space on second down. It's like third and long now, 3rd and 10. All right, so there you go. 2021, Mike McCarthy, 12-5. And they lost by 6 points to the 49ers. But the fact that how ugly it got this year is what had people rumbling. A lot of former coaches defend McCarthy because it really is just that hard. When you get that deep in the playoffs, it does kind of come down to luck. Football really does come down to luck. It's a game of inches. And a lot of times, coaching doesn't even impact the game that much. And these are a team of guys that come up with the strategy. So if the strategy doesn't work, well, if they fire the head coach, they pretty much clear house anyways. Unless it's like in the middle of the season, then they'll keep the dudes around. Because that would be weird to hire a whole new set of coaches in the middle of the year. But when they get fired after the season, typically like everybody goes. But yeah, winning 12 games 3 years in a row doesn't really matter what you do in the playoffs. In my opinion, you should be coach again. Now, next year, I think he would need to win at least one playoff game. I think he needs to win one next year. If he wins one and then loses, though, I still would keep him around if they win 12 games again. He's putting them in position to have a chance every single season. You can't say that about everybody else. Because at that point, that's 4 straight years of 12-5. If he does it again next year, that's pretty crazy. That's like some college level shit. Damn, Lamar just running around everywhere on 3rd and 11. They can't get him, but they finally do. Nice. I think that game last week between the Texans and the Browns was also a battle to see who was going to win Coach of the Year between D'Amico Ryans and Kevin Stefanski. They could still give it to Kevin Stefanski. But, I mean, D'Amico Ryans' team beat his team, and they were the two guys going for it. Not a bad punt. That's pretty deep. I don't even know who this dude is. Oh, shit. He just ran past everybody. Oh, he's gone, dude. That's a touchdown. Shit. It got spoiled for me. That's why I'm not that excited. I saw it on the thing. Damn. Well, there you go. Special teams. Giving the Texans a huge play. Sometimes the offense doesn't have to do jack shit. Those are big plays when it comes back down to it. Because in all likelihood, Texans get the ball back within 5 yards of where he received that punt. They may set themselves up for another field goal, but Ravens defense has been on them pretty tight. We haven't seen any big plays from them yet, and it's 4:17 in the second. So they'll probably only have 1 or 2 big plays for the rest of this game on offense. So to get one on special teams, that kind of makes up for the lack of big plays on offense so far. This is a big play team, the Texans. And they are missing. Tank Dell was a guy, rookie Tank Dell. He was a dude who was giving them a lot of those big plays, and they're missing him now. Oh, the special teams coach is hype. He's like, hell yeah. I just got a 2-year contract extension for a special teams touchdown in the playoffs. Fuck yeah. Yeah, you don't see those middle punt returns. Usually, like, the guy goes to the outside and then kind of works his way a little bit to the middle and then back to the outside. That dude just split the seam right down the middle. It was like parting of the Red Sea. Because you got dudes coming in from you at both sides. That's what she said. So you're full when you run up the middle like that. You're fully expected to get blasted by 2 dudes at once. That's what she said again. Big balls. What was the dude's name? I don't even know who that was. Steven Sims. Did Steven Sims do anything this year? I don't think he did. Is he their normal returner? I never see him on offense. Let's see here. What did Steven Sims do this year? That's always fun to see a guy that didn't really do much of anything in the regular season pop off in the playoffs and do something huge. I did not know that guy's name. I saw number 82 and I'm like, who the fuck's that? Okay. Oh, he had 1 carry for 1 yard. He had 1 rush for 1 yard. Oh, he only played in like 3 games for them? So probably a guy they brought up when Dell got hurt. 3 catches for 25 yards. What about tackles? He didn't have any tackles on special teams. He only returned 4 punts for 49 yards and 3 kickoff returns for 71 yards. So what? That's 3, 4, 10, 12. The dude touched the ball 12 times during the regular season. 12 times. Just scored in the divisional round against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. 9-point spread. That's big news. Put his name on the map. Good for him. Yeah, one of those plays where you look back on the game and you say that's if the Ravens lose, that's going to be one play they're really going to want back. But at the same time, it's not as bad as a pick six because the Texans were going to get the ball anyway, and they had only scored 3 points. In all likelihood, they were probably going to put together a touchdown. They might. Like, the probability of it was somewhat high. I get that I said the Ravens were really shutting them down. But if you think about it, like the statistical probability of the Texans only scoring 3 points in the first half is kind of low. When you think of all the different scenarios and simulations that could happen in this game. Well, Lamar has about 3:30 to strike back. See if he can do it. He's got a lot of time back there. Man, he's impossible to sack because he just starts running backwards and then throws it away. Now that one, I didn't see a receiver in the vicinity. Was he out of the tackle box? Yeah, he was. Let's see, just barely. Yeah, he's just barely out of that tackle box. So he could do anything he wanted with that shit. Doesn't look like Steven Sims was drafted. Oh, this is his that's Sims? I've heard of this dude. It's from the Redskins. Sims from the Redskins? Yeah. He actually had 2 decent years for them. I remember him now. 34 catches for 300 yards his rookie year, 27 catches for 265. Okay. Did have 4 touchdowns as a rookie. Had a rushing touchdown as a rookie too, so that's make that 5 touchdowns. Yeah, he's like a big play guy. He had a 65-yard run and a 65-yard catch as a rookie for the Redskins in 2019. And the Steelers had him last year. He had 14 catches for 100 yards. So they didn't really get that big playability out of him. He has also thrown 1 pass attempt in his career. Yeah, a lot of kickoff returns as a rookie too. Had a kickoff return touchdown as a rookie. Damn, he was good as a rookie, this undrafted Steven Sims fella. So he hasn't done much in the past 3 years. So I guess it's not crazy surprising. He's not just some random dude off the street. Like, he's been around in the NFL for 4 years now. Did have 1 good year as a rookie. Was somewhat useful in his second season. Didn't do much at all in Pittsburgh, but he did something. It's better than sitting at home doing nothing, right? But I do remember him. I do remember seeing him making big plays for them, saying like, "Damn, that's good to have as a reserve receiver. If this is your 5th best guy on your team, I'll take it." Didn't he maybe have long hair on when he was on the Redskins? I don't know. All right, what else? So other than the McCarthy speculation being debunked, he will be back with the Cowboys, but they're not going to extend him. So he's kind of on the hot seat. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. Bills got pretty banged up in that last game. Davis and Taylor Rapp ruled out. Oh man, dude, I don't want to be missing playoff Gabe Davis, dude. That sucks. Stephon Diggs is gonna actually have to step up for for once. All he does is bitch in these big games. I'm not a big fan of Stephon Diggs. I don't like how pissy he gets when his team loses. Like he starts doing all this shit like he's gonna leave, and then he starts tweeting stuff on social media. I mean, I've been, I'm not proud of that. None of that though. Maybe he's not either, trying to be a better man. I don't know. NFL players, I mean, if you're under 30, you're still kind of a kid. So me too, you're still gonna make some dumb mistakes. But I don't know. You should ride or die with your teammates. You should have said like, we could have done a better job together. I could have done a better job together. Like you might as well just make yourself look good, even if you're pissed off and you want to go to the Dallas Cowboys and you don't want to play for the Bills anymore. And in that moment after the game, you're all pissed off. You might as well have a good look. Don't tarnish your own name by going on Twitter and bitching about Josh Allen. You're going to bitch about Josh Allen, dude, just because he lost the game. He didn't get me the ball enough. Maybe you weren't open, bro. But yeah, man, I wanted to see Gabe Davis put up 200 yards again against the Chiefs, and I guess we're not going to get that. I don't know about these other dudes, Balin Spector and Christian Benford, but they have been ruled out as well. Rasul Douglas is supposed to play. He's like a veteran. He's not their starter, is he? Yeah, they got a lot of guys on their defense banged up. Their nickelback and their punter. Nickelback. Never made it as a blind man. I like Nickelback, dude. Okay, yeah, Derpy. I didn't see that. My bad. Yeah, Derpy would know. He's a Steelers fan. He's on the yeah. And Texans with the ball back, they could get the lead going in the halftime here. 3rd and 13. Odds kind of stacked against them at this point with 2:12 and the clock ticking. But we haven't seen one of those big poppers yet between CJ and Nico Collins seems to be the main guy with Tank Dell out. So, although Nico Collins was already their main guy, it's just Tank Dell kind of takes a lot of the heat off of them. They still got Robert Woods out there. What did he do this year? Probably had like 300, 400 yards. I mean, they passed the ball a lot, so. Robert Woods has had a pretty good career. He's just getting a little older. Oh, is that? Wow, they did not use him. Is that the regular season stats? Oh, no, wait, that's rushing. There he is. 40 catches for 400 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, big time passing offense. You're gonna get your touches. I think Noah Brown might be hurt too. They got Mechie as a backup. I believe he was like a 3rd or 2nd round guy, right? But he had like a cancer maybe or an injury. Or am I thinking of that dude am I thinking of Justin Ross on the Chiefs? out of Clemson. I thought Mechie had the same situation. He had like cancer or some shit. Yeah, Robert Woods is 31 at this time, so just to get 400 yards out of him, yeah, that's kind of almost lucky. And he hasn't really done squat in the last few years. He's topped out at 550. But back in 2020, he almost had 1,000 yards, and then 18 and 19 had 1,000 yards in each of those years. The start of his career wasn't much, though, more of like a 600-yard type of guy per season. After these 2 years, after these 3 seasons, he kind of had some hype, though. I mean, he did kind of tail off. He played all 16 games in 2020 for only 9,636. But after those 2 years of 1,000 yards, it was like, okay, this guy's developed. But old age caught up to him. He wasn't really much of an explosive guy, anyways. I don't know. Something about him, I just like him. Oh shit! There it is on 3rd and 13. Deep pass down the middle. Nico Collins. There's that big play everybody was waiting for. My God, fucking just lasered. A fucking laser, man. Damn, that's just a deep in route. Collins wasn't even worried about the sticks. I mean, he ran like 5 yards past the sticks. You would think he would only run about 15 yards. They said, nah, we're going for something big. I guess that's smart because as a defender, you might, if a guy's going to cut, you would expect him to cut like 2 yards after that first down marker. There's another first down for them too. So if that guy flies past the first down marker, you might think he's going to try to take the middle seam. But he waited till he was about 6 yards past that marker to cut in. And I think that really surprised him. Because there's a lot of things happening in these players' brains during the play. Like, there was a lot going on. I mean, a lot of it is instinctual, but yeah, before the play, they're thinking, all right, this guy, dude, if he's still running at this point, like, I'm going. Because I'm not trying to get burnt. And then dude just cuts all of a sudden when you prepared for something different. That's football. That's football 101, like trying to do something that the other team does not expect. Whether you're on defense or offense. Kind of a quick first half. I've been live for an hour 18. I guess that's not too quick. Damn, hour 18, that flies by. All right, well, Texans are in field goal territory. It's 40 seconds left in 3rd and 8. Like, I wouldn't be too worried about giving the ball back to the Ravens. Obviously, don't turn it over, but go ahead and try to get this 3rd and 8. So hypothetically, they could run the ball. Baltimore could either just balk at it, let the clock go down, and they'll kick a field goal. Or Baltimore could call a timeout. I think they very likely would, knowing Baltimore. But I'm saying I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what Baltimore is going to do if they get the ball back. Go for this first down. Don't run. Yeah, you can get them to waste a timeout, make it harder if they do want to try to have a 40-second miracle drive. Although by the time they get the ball back, if they do make this field goal, you're looking at like 20, 25 seconds. Damn, those Joe Buck and Troy Aikman with those Nike Monday Night Football, ESPN puffer jackets, those are pretty tight. I've barely heard them all year because I'm doing streams during these games. They have like the most nostalgic voices for me. You know, I remember a lot of Thanksgivings falling asleep to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman as a child. All right, they are going to try to pass here. Quick one, and it's no good. Ravens brought the heat as expected. They had something pretty quick set up, but the heat was too much. They'll bring out the kicker. I just have a picture. New people tuning in, like, why the fuck do you have a picture of Robert Woods up? Because we were talking about him. Yeah, what is the deal? I don't want to just say something and then not actually look it up. We were talking about John Mechie. Was it cancer that he had? Yeah, I was right. The kick is up, and he fucked it. No good. Oh, man. And now 32 seconds, 3 timeouts for the Ravens. Huh. I wonder if teams will start on offense doing something with a blitz like that. Because that's a Ravens blitz with all-star players coming at you, and they brought the heat. Stroud's guy was open, wide open. If that ball was online, Woods probably would have caught that and ran for a first down. If he would have got a block, he could have made the end zone. But CJ couldn't get the ball there because all them dudes were in his face. What if they just ran a QB power sweep right? That rush is coming in, and if you have your running back on the right side and just have him chip the edge and you just sprint to the outside, because they're blitzing him trying to collapse the pocket. If you immediately sprint out of the pocket, I think CJ might be fast enough. I want to see teams start doing that. Yeah, it was 3rd and 8, so it's kind of a weird situation to run a QB sweep. But that's the whole thing. You don't expect it. I don't know why they don't do more. Some teams do some funky stuff in weird situations, but for the most part, that seems too intense. Unless you have Lamar Jackson. When have you ever seen a team in the NFL run a quarterback sweep on 3rd down with anything more than 3rd and 4? 3rd and 4 seems like the max that they'll run QB sweep. I'd do it. All right, let me. It's time for the coffee. Time to switch from tea to coffee. Oh, that's thick, man. Oh, yeah. I like Houston, man. I like the Texans. Oh, this is my last pouch. I got more upstairs. Shit. But yeah, John Mechie, I was right. He did have cancer. So I'm pretty sure this was a dude that was like, I don't know if about 1st round, but I think he was like a 2nd round type guy. So now he's cool. He had leukemia, and now he's cool. He's out there, like he's helping the team. He was playing last week and had a good catch last week, maybe 2. So it was July 2022. And then he made it, so it took him like a year to recover from the cancer. What's up, Luke? I don't know. I'll let you know. I might be hanging out with some family tonight, but I'll let you know. I've been trying to go to bed really early, but I will keep you posted. So wait, and then Justin Ross, though, same thing, right? Spells his name with a Y. He also had cancer. Or did he just get fucked really hard? No, not like that. Like he got injured. No, not like, not sexual stuff. I mean, like, oh, wait. He had a congenital fusion in his spine. Oh, he was born with some. So he just was born with some shit. And then when he got hurt in practice. but he was also suspended. And then they're saying he got hurt with a neck injury. Dude, there's like 5 different things about Justin Ross with something fucked up. He returned to play last season, but suffered a stress fracture. That was in 2022. Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney announced on Monday star receiver Justin Ross will miss 2020 season with a career-threatening injury. That was 2020. There's something about him getting in trouble with the law. Yeah, charges against former Central Phoenix City High School football star Justin Ross could be dropped. That was 2023. Looks like someone named Justin Ross died in 1970 at age 26. Oh, no, that's something else. And then most recently was the congenital fusion of 2 vertebrae in his back. And it was a routine hit in practice. And he felt numbness in both arms. So, yeah, that's where that... So he was born with that shit, I guess. So you don't even know you have this shit. And then one day you make it to the NFL, get hit in the back, and like, oh, hey, you were born with a messed up back, dude. He was on the team last year and got himself a Super Bowl ring, so I don't think he gives a fuck. As long as he doesn't have like cancer, I guess, or some life-threatening shit. Well, Ravens are now punting. So the Texans will get the ball back, and if Sims, dude, you got to punt the ball to Sims. That punter wasn't fucking around that time. That punter booted the hell out of the ball. Damn, inside the 20. Holy shit. Dude, they must have gave that punter some meth or something. Something's going on there. They got him loose. Lamar will head to the locker room early. I don't like that. I don't think that's a good look. It's not a good look. Cool. All right. Well, halftime. I will be right back, and then we'll go nuts on all the sports news. There was an update on. I've talked about this a lot. Wander Franco. There was an update on Wander Franco that's juicy, it's spicy. So I'll be right back. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I still don't believe that. I don't know if I believe the whole story still, but there's some stuff going down. Man, I really lost a thing of pouches, didn't I? Did I not look at? I lost some pouches. I don't know. Wheel. Mess up. Jacket pocket, boys. Always check the jacket pocket. I mean, boys and girls. I'm sorry. 14% of my viewers are female. That's right. I got some groupies, bro. All right. I guess other news real quick since I've been on here or since I have not been doing a stream. What came out? Yeah, the Raiders hired Antonio Pierce as their head coach. You don't see that often. You don't see a team hire the interim coach as head coach. I don't know why. There's been a couple of situations where it would have made sense. Cleveland Browns with Greg Williams. You know, he had been a pretty popular coordinator for a long time. They fired Hugh Jackson, and I think they were over 500 under Greg Williams. Hugh Jackson was like 1-4, and then they ended up finishing 7-8-1. That would have been 2018. Baker Mayfield's rookie year. But from what I heard in the exit interviews, the Raiders players really liked him. Kind of a player's coach. Um, the players felt like he gave them a significant higher chance to win than Josh McDaniels did. So, you were going into this trying to find someone better than the previous coach. This guy already coaching your team, the players already feel like he gives you a better chance to win. I do think he did pretty good. I mean, the team was a mess anyways. They started winning some games after Josh McDaniels got booted out, though. They were more competitive, I feel like, for sure. Devontae Adams wasn't bitching as much. So they made him the head coach. Not a bad idea. And they had fired the general manager, too. Are they going to keep their interim GM as well? That would be a question. Huh. They crossed out the word interim for their media post to announce it. That's funny. Let's see. He was a good linebacker. He was a linebacker. He was good. Well, he was on the Giants, right? Oh, they didn't show it. Does it say anything what they're gonna do about the GM? Oh, and it was Pierce's idea to bench Jimmy Garoppolo. I thought they did it so they didn't have to pay him any money. Well, he was hurt. They weren't gonna pay him anyways. Aiden O'Connell I think he was a 4th round draft pick. 4th round is kind of right on the line. Like we've seen some good NFL starters get drafted in the 4th round. Now, any later than that, pretty much like Tom Brady. Davis Mills was a 1st rounder, and he was a decent starter for the Texans the past few years. Dak Prescott, I believe. Dak might have been 3rd. I feel like Purdue had a pretty good passing attack. It's just their defense sucked. I remember when Ohio State played Purdue not a couple years ago. I think O'Connell was their quarterback. That David Bell guy on the Browns went crazy against Ohio State. It's probably why they drafted him. But O'Connell went 3-2 as a starter, it looks like. 62% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. If you look at some of these game logs, I mean, this one's pretty ugly. 9 of 21 for 62 yards. They did win the game against the Chiefs. My God. Oh, wasn't that the Christmas game? Yeah. Merry fucking Christmas, Kansas City. So he was kind of hit or miss. 21 of 32 for 171. I guess, you get one more completion in there that goes for 30 yards, and that looks a lot better. But 244, 299, and 248, very respectable numbers. One of the games he had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That 63-21 game. Although I feel like the Chargers were playing so bad. Hell, me or you could have went out there. Me or anybody else, anybody out there. We could have went out there and then torn up the Chargers like that. So it does cross off one team on the coaching carousel list. We are back to football here. Wide open guy on 2nd and 1. It's the tight end doing his best Mark Andrews impression, Isaiah Likely. It's very likely that their offense took a drop off when they lost Mark Andrews and had to go to Isaiah Likely. Yeah. But he is playing his role. He's playing his role. He's not a game breaker, but he can play the role of starting tight end, block, catch. They work in other guys, obviously, but he's done a nice job. At least from what I've seen of the Ravens and Isaiah Likely. You can't really replace Mark Andrews. I mean, I believe he was a first round draft pick, like, or second round. Like, first off, you got to draft one of those guys high usually. Good tight ends, you pretty much have to draft them high, and some of them end up being busts. Eric Ebron, man, people thought he was going to be special. I mean, Sam Laporta was what, second rounder? I heard someone out of Detroit saying that he is like really, really fucking good. Like, he is going to be the next Travis Kelce, guaranteed. Somebody that actually watches every game for Detroit, every snap. They're saying that he's it. Whoa, something weird happened. Lamar got stepped on or something. Flinched weirdly, almost like a ghost. Hey, Lamar took psychedelics at halftime. They gave Lamar Jackson a Cliff Bar, but it was accidentally a magic mushroom candy bar. I've had one of those before. They're pretty dope. All right, Ravens driving here to open up the second half, and there is a catch on the outside by Bateman. First round receiver, but doesn't really feel like he is much of a game breaker at this point. He was really good as a rookie last year, and then he got hurt, and he's been kind of ho-hum, but somewhat dependable this year. As your second option to Zay Flowers, and then you also have a third option, Odell Beckham Jr., and then you also have Mark Andrews when healthy. Yeah, that's a pretty good group. Their weakness is kind of at the running back, but they have Lamar, so it makes up for it. They don't need a good running back. He is their running back. Lamar trying to laser one in, incomplete. They're going for the end zone. But yeah, going back to the Raiders, as far as this Aiden O'Connell pick out of Purdue, I don't think he would be the starter. Yeah, I'm probably going to stay home tonight, Luke. I need to stay rested. I need to go to bed at like 10:30 after the game, directly after the game. QB draw with Lamar, and that is going to be a touchdown. Yeah. How do you not see that coming? I feel like he hasn't really ran the ball himself all drive. You can spy him, though. It doesn't matter. Maybe they did try to see it coming. You can put a spy on Lamar, and it still might not work. Well, there you go. Made it look easy. But it was second down. That's a perfect time to run a QB draw. A little too risky for third down, but second down, let loose. Well, there you go. The Ravens stabilize here in the second half instantly. This game got pretty frothy for them. They looked like they were in control, and then Texans, with that punt return, changed things a little bit. So we'll see if CJ can answer. Hey, maybe we'll get a little second half shootout. Wouldn't mind that. All right, I promised I was going to talk about this Wander Franco shit. Let me hit the kratom. Let's hit the K. Get ready for this second half. I love how when you Google it, it's the first thing is Wander Franco 14. Oh, that's what I searched. Okay. So I'm just a weirdo. At this point, though, I don't see him ever playing again. Although if he goes to jail for 3 years, comes out, he's still only 25. A lot of times in the MLB, you get a rookie who's 25 years old. That's when rookies get their shot in the MLB on average. Now I get that high-end players, Tatis Jr. I think Griffey came in the league when he was young. A lot of, A-Rod, those types of guys, superstars. Acuna was like 19. But yeah, 20 years in prison. I mean, you come back at 42, maybe stay fit, but like your body isn't being overworked because you're just working out, maintaining the body in prison. I don't know. Wander Franco, 20 years in prison. I feel like I feel like he wouldn't be in the baseball no more. He'd come out. He'd come out Wanda, dude. They turn. I don't know. He's pretty big and tough, but he come out a little a little different. You spend 20 years in there, you pretty much like you're gonna end up doing some gay shit, dude. He's gonna come out Wanda Franco, and he don't want to play baseball. He wants to do drag queen. He wants to be a drag queen. But yeah, the prosecutors apparently sat down with the girl who is now 15. Um, but it doesn't add up with the initial information on the timeline of this doesn't it's like different and like changed. All this new information makes it seem different. So let's see though. Because I remember we initially thought that this was like okay, he started this relationship when he was 17 years old with a 14-year-old. And now he's 22 and she would have been fucking 19. Is it a little weird? Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's like that's like a like that happens. That's a normal thing. People fall in love at those ages, and it gets a little weird when one of them turns 18. But after the 5 years and everybody's 18, like it's not weird anymore. Maybe it was weird at first, but like that 3 year gap, 17 to 14, that's not insane. That's not super weird. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'm not really with that, but you hear of that. Like how'd you meet? Oh, she was a sophomore. I was a senior in high school. Blah blah blah. We stayed together when I went to college. Well, wait, you would have been you would have been 18 and she would have been 15. Isn't that weird? Like, yeah, it is pretty weird at that point. But then give it a few more years and it's like, oh, okay. It's not so bad. But apparently this girl, this 14-year-old girl, he had met her like last fucking year or 2022 maybe. But they're saying they were in the article they said she's 15 now. If it was 2022, she'd be I don't know. I think there's something weird about this one. And I don't know what. I don't know why it would be a conspiracy. I haven't figured that out. But Wander Franco was a guy who was about to become very, very, very fucking wealthy. And typically with people who are very, very wealthy, you have to kind of follow some rules to be wealthy. And a wealthy elite person, you kind of have to follow some rules. You're a young kid and you get this massive $200 million contract. You might get you get the globalist, man. You get Agent Smith at your door, like making sure. Because money gives you power. And let's say Wander Franco, let's say this story is completely fake and he's actually like an advocate for child sex trafficking. We have literally seen people get in trouble for sticking their nose into child sex trafficking, like the global rings, and try to shut it down and make people aware of what's going on. Like people have been murked. Or stuff like this. They say, "Oh, you're gonna try to expose the pedophiles, huh? Well, we're gonna make you one into one of them. We're gonna make this bullshit about you." But I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff with this. Like if you actually go look at the girl's um, Instagram profile, I mean, she's got like a 3-year-old kid, and there's a picture of her drinking vodka in the driver's seat. She has a bottle of vodka, and she's sitting in a car in the driver's seat. Like, and I mean, I'm not saying this in a weird way or anything about her. She looked older than 14. So I don't know, man. But it gets real hairy with what they're saying here. The prosecutors are saying they have this text messages that Franco said. Franco said, "My girl, oh wait, we got to do a Spanish accent. Um, I don't feel like doing an accent right now, to be honest with you." CJ is moving the ball a little bit here, by the way. Texans keeping it alive. They got to, they don't have to score on this possession, but if they don't score, they better D the fuck up next drive. Because if you go down 24-10, third quarter, in the other team's territory, you would think these guys would be like, "No surrender. We're just gonna go hard no matter what till the final whistle blows." But it ain't like that. Teams look up at the scoreboard like, "Damn, we're down 24-10, hella pressure on this next drive." They feel that shit. Some guys are better than others at not letting the moment get to them. Damn, maybe Devin Singletary, one of those guys. That's a tough, nearly a 20-yard run, busting, fucking his way through tackles. He said, anyways, going back to Wander Franco, he said, "My girl, if my team realizes this, it could cause problems for me. It is a rule for all teams that we cannot talk to minors, and yet I took the risk and loved it." Now, see, it says could cause problems. And remember, she's driving a car, so maybe she was actually 16. Still not. It's still pretty rough. But I've went over this. The age of consent is 16 in a lot of in a few states in Ohio. So, Ohio is one of them. But yeah. And this is another country. They be doing some weird shit like that down there, dude. This is a Dominican Republic. I don't know how they got shit going on. So if she was actually 16 when he was 21 and that's when that happened, I don't know. But that's an issue. Like he said, it could cause problems. Not like this will be an issue. He said it could. So he's thinking maybe, okay, he knows, maybe he did his research, dude, and he knows that some states have, they don't really, according to the law, your peers will frown upon you dating a 16-year-old as a 21-year-old man, but the law isn't going to fuck with you in some states. But then it's a rule for all teams. So maybe he's kind of saying it could cause problems. I might be able to talk my way out of it because you're 16 and not like 14. I don't know. That's just, I try to look into things that people are saying and dig a little deeper based on the specific words that they use, because that's how we communicate, That's how we add details to what we're saying. Use the word could instead of would. Would is a lot more like escalation. It's a lot higher than could. It's definitive. But again, I'm just kind of shooting the shit with that. It doesn't really matter if he said would or could. It's pretty weird that he said like, "I took the risk and I loved it." Yeah, that's not so good. But again, these are prosecutor text. But these are text messages that the prosecutors got from apparently this 14-year-old girl who's now like 15. But yeah, he was an all-star player with Hall of Fame aspirations. Like, he's had the start of a Hall of Fame career. And then there's something to do with the mom too, where he was giving the mom $100,000 a month all of a sudden. Like, he was really only giving this girl, he really only gave the girl like 20 bands. But then he was giving the mom, apparently the mom got involved, and like she was like, "Oh, we need money for this, we need money for that, new car." And they tried to say, the prosecutors are trying to say like 100 grand a month or something like that. Yeah. She asked for 100 grand a month. I don't know if she actually got that. But apparently he was giving the mom significantly more money because the mom maybe was like blackmailing him, saying, "I'll tell on you." And then and then he didn't want to play, and then they broke up, and then the girl was with someone else, and then he said something sketchy to her, and then they just, after she felt hurt by what Wander Franco said, and that's when she went to the reporters and went to the and reported everything, and made the official complaint to prosecutors in the Dominican Republic. Um, but read this. About a month later, allegations of the relationship leaked on social media on August 14th. 1 + 4 is 5. Wander Franco wears number 5. On this day, during the day, the Rays posted a game-winning hit by Wander Franco on TikTok that was 14 seconds long. I think there was one more thing involving the number 14 too. So sometimes they leave a little breadcrumb trail, like, "Hey, we're fucking with you." Like, that's why I think there's a conspiracy behind this. I'm not just a crazy person that thinks everything's a conspiracy. No, there's it just happened to be on August 14th. You just happened to post a TikTok video 14 seconds long. It was 14 instead of 15. This could be a case where like Wander Franco went on Tinder and got catfished by a 14-year-old, and she told him that she was 18, and they were just talking, maybe never met, or maybe did meet, and maybe did do stuff, and he just didn't fucking know that she was only 14 years old. And then they have all the text messages, they have all the shit. It's like, you're fucking done, dude. But I think Wander Franco, in his case, he would just have his lawyers, it would be a open and shut. He would have it, he would just give up his text messages to the lawyers and shit, and they would just pull that all up in court. He'd basically say like, "Yeah, dude, run my phone. Tap my phone and take my text messages. Go, please do." It'll exonerate me. So I don't know. There's a lot to it still, and there is some pathways though where Wander Franco is like didn't actually do anything at all, or maybe just got catfished by a 14-year-old. I don't know. Maybe they never even met up, and she just made all this shit up. Make fake text messages with a fake phone, say it was Wander Franco. I mean, but even if for they have to like, for to take a phone number and attribute to that to someone, they have to have like proof that that phone number, even if it sounds like the person in the messages, they have to prove that that phone number belongs to them. Now, in a case like this, yeah, they would go, they'd work with whoever they had to work with, the FBI or some shit, and they would tap his shit. If you use like a text app or another phone, they can tap your IP and find shit. And then they can attribute that phone number to you. But there's cases where they can't, and they don't bother. Yes, I do know this. I learned this the hard way. The Hozone porn investigation. I think I'm gonna focus on. Is that a sports thing? I don't want to get into nothing too heavy. It's not to do with any sports shit. Maybe another time. But yeah, for the statistical purpose of this show, Wander Franco is definitely a fantastic baseball player. I mean, came in the league at age 20, gave Tampa Bay 70 games, batted 288, 34 or 39 RBIs, was not bad. But then in his second season, started picking up things up, gave him 83 games, only 6 homers, 33 RBIs, 277 batting average. Pretty solid. And then this in 2023, this year, he was having a great year. In 112 games, he'd already hit 17 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 30 stolen bases, and batted 281. And they had seen what they needed to see from him to give him that massive contract. But I don't know. I remembered his stats being a little bit higher. He didn't even have a career OPS of 800. And his career batting average was 282. I mean, that's good. But he wasn't putting up like crazy Acuna numbers coming in the league. Ronald Acuna, man. He came in the league going like with 40 home runs. So he might have been a little overrated. Now I don't know if that contract would have worked out. I mean, there's nothing that really pops off the screen here that says, yeah, this dude's a stud. But I guess it's one of those things where like it's more than the stats. Like they know this dude and they know what he's capable of, and they're willing to give him a long-term contract and see that play out. Because they see him every day in batting practice, and maybe he was a hard worker and shit. I assume he was. Damn, 4th and 1, and they're going with the old little naked bootleg there off the play action. Lamar is just going to take it for a first. Yeah, it's just impossible to stop. Fuck, dude. Naked bootlegs work with Peyton Manning sometimes if you do it right. Peyton Manning has ran for first downs on naked bootlegs. What's up, Floppy? Yeah, I do too. I'd like to see Bauer come back. It's just I don't know what the hell is going on with him in that Japanese league. What if the Japanese league's actually better than? Well, didn't they beat us? Didn't Japan win the World Series, the real World Series? Yeah, because no one's gonna want to pay him any money. So the Indians would be perfect. Come back to the Indians, man. Or go back to the Reds. Athletics, yeah, they why not if you're the Athletics? Japan is as competitive as AAA. Okay, so I've seen guys come back from an injury or something, and they go to a rehab assignment in AAA before coming up, and they stink. They have like a 5 or 6 earned run average. So I mean, his earned run average was high in that Japan league. Also, me being a crazy conspiracy theorist, this is wacky wisdom. I don't know what happened to my background. My background got fucked up. Why is my background polar bears? Thank you. I think that could be a media lie, dude, because the media has crucified this dude. And what if they just said like, oh, Trevor Bauer playing in the Japan league? Well, he's got a 7 earned run average. How do they know? I mean, yeah, you could probably look it up and find the stats, but what if they're lying? I mean, that's all the way in Japan. We're not over there checking to see. We don't have any way to watch Trevor Bauer in Japan. So one, they could have inflated that number in the media. And Japan league is just as competitive as AAA. If they beat us in We took all of our best players and their best players, and I think did they beat us? Let's see. I assume if I just type in Japan versus USA, it will come up. Who the fuck won? Yeah, it was like Ohtani versus Mike Trout, and Ohtani struck him out, and they won. Japan 3-2. Yeah. Hell, based on that, could be better. It could literally be just as difficult as major leagues. That is interesting. So, you would think if you were good in Japan, like if you were a superstar in Japan, and you're telling me like the best, maybe there's less really good players in Japan, but the best players in Japan are just as good as the best players in the MLB. Why the hell wouldn't they go to the MLB? Well, I don't know how much revenue the Japanese baseball league generates, but baseball is pretty popular here, and these players get paid a lot. So I imagine in Japan, they get paid above average salary compared to the average salary in Japan. I would assume, right? I would assume that they do get paid. Like it's not like some minor league bullshit or like the XFL or USFL where you barely get a paycheck. Or like these dudes, yeah, the Japan Pro Leagues, these dudes also have second jobs. No, I don't think I think they probably get paid at least above average, like at least like a doctor. So if you're able to make good money playing baseball in your home country, why the fuck would you want to go to the USA? Sure, you could be rich as hell, but if you're not a rich person and you don't have a very big taste, you grow up and you start making that big salary, that's enough for you. You're excited with that. Like I'm happy with what I got. My standard of life would go down, even though I'm in United States making millions and millions of dollars, maybe even 100. Some of these guys, dude, some of them come over with $100 million contracts, like Yoshida and these dudes. They're getting $100 million contracts before they even step foot in the MLB. So at that point, yeah, Japan's got some dudes. Like their best players seem to be just as good as ours, but a lot of them don't want to come here unless you give them that massive contract. That's like the only thing that gets them here. Because I mean, imagine, put yourself in the shoes. If you were making $200K to play baseball here in the United States, and Japan gave you an offer, and you could go make $20 million a year in Japan, but it's a long-term contract, and you got to stay there for a while. I mean, I don't know. I would probably maybe make my money over there and then come back. I would make my money in Japan, play out my contract, and then head back to the States. Maybe. Or what if I had like, in my situation with a child? No, I'm not going nowhere, dude. With a 3-year-old child, I'm making $200,000 to play fucking baseball, dude. I don't care at that point. It's not worth it to miss the best years of being a parent when your child is like infant and toddler and shit and young child, like missing all that shit. Nah. Although the Japanese women do really like white men, and I think black men too. So if you're an American and go over there, you can go hard. I consider both. I consider white people and black people as like American. Like if you say American, I think black and white. I know I say my fair share of racial derogatory terms, but I also believe in free speech. So you can be both, you know. But yeah, as far as Trevor Bauer goes, I wish him well. He's a strange guy, but so am I. Oh, wow. Interesting. That's interesting, Floppy. So if you're Cuban and you go to America and you get citizenship there to go play in the MLB, they're like, nah, you ain't Cuban no more, dog. Don't come back. Hey, gringo, you're gringo now. I don't care if you were born here, you're gringo now. Fucking, he's a gringo. He thinks he can come back to Cuba. Oh no, Fidel Castro would turn over in his grave. I'd go for a Cuban sandwich. Or a Cuban cigar. Cuban cigar and a Cuban sandwich at the same time. I'll take it. Nah, it would ruin the taste. You'd want to take those separately. That is pretty. So yeah, so Team Cuba would be, yeah, they would be good. A lot of Cuban players are stars in the MLB. But once you go to the MLB, they don't want you on their team. Wait, Mexico let him play though? So if you're from Cuba, it's close enough to Mexico where it's like, hey, might as well be Mexican. So they let Randy play for they let Randy play for Mexico. Interesting. Baseball does, of the three American sports, big American sports, baseball seems to want to be the one that's closely replicated in some other countries. Maybe basketball. Basketball might be like, pro basketball is pretty decent in a lot of other countries. And I think basketball globally might be a little bit easier to replicate and have a league closer to the NBA than baseball would be for MLB. I don't know. 2nd and 1 for Lamar Jackson. Looks like a QB sweep. He's going to stop, pop, and get jiggy with it. That is a touchdown. Throws it into the end zone. Isaiah Likely. So there's that backup tight end filling in for Mark Andrews, scoring a touchdown. What's up, Norm? What's up, Norm? I ended up deleting my Discord because the trolls were bothering me, and I don't use Discord a lot, and like I'll get sucked into the troll back and forth stuff, and it's not good for my mental health. And it's fun though. I enjoy it sometimes, but I only get into it when I'm like depressed and not feeling well. I usually like stay away from that stuff. It just was taking too much. It started taking too much of my time over like a 3-day period. So I was like, I don't use this Discord. My Discord's dead. I'm just going to leave these people in the dust. Like, I'm just going to delete all this shit, and they have no way of contacting me unless they want to go to my YouTube. Which, if they come to my YouTube and start blowing up my chat, that's just going to help me in the algorithm. So it's like, fuck them. But yeah, I don't know. I realized some stuff about trolling. I realized that my behavior, like going at the trolls and fighting with them, is trolling. Like, me talking to them at all is me trolling. Me sitting here spending time talking about them and engaging with them in the chat. Like, yeah, would I own them from a logical standpoint? Of course. Yeah, I dismantle them. But that's what the troll wants you to do. The troll wants you to go on that tangent where you start saying, well, the thing about trolls is they're just miserable people and they're just taking out their anger. They like that shit. And then you start talking to them and it's like, this is an insane fucking person. Like, they think it's funny, but they don't think it's that bad. They don't think it's a bad thing to like bother people all day long. And they think that somehow like, hey, this is my form of entertainment. My form of entertainment is trolling. You know, some people watch TV, some people watch sports, Netflix, some people go outside and do things. It's the same thing. It's a form of entertainment. But it's a form of entertainment that happens at someone else's expense. And then they claim that they're sociopaths, even though, like, you know damn right, every single day there's a stage in every single troll. There's a point in their day where they don't feel so good. and they ain't gonna do no trolling. They feel like shit. And then they swing to when they have like positive emotions, that's when they decide to troll. And the trolling long term ends up dragging them down worse and keeping them in that shitty depressive state. That depressive state's going to keep coming back around. Like they end up, I do think they feel bad about it. Like at the end of the night, like they do feel bad. Because I've had people apologize and be like, I'm sorry, that wasn't cool. But yeah, me trying to get involved with them and win, there is no winning. But it can be fun, and I get sucked into it. That's why I don't like get too mad. But then late after it all, I'm just like, what the fuck did I just spend my time doing? Like I could have done something, I could have done something productive. I could have done something good for my mental health, good for other people. But anyways. But yeah, I had the whole thing where like, oh, I think I'm saying something special to the trolls. Like, no, that's what everybody says to a troll. Like, you're just a miserable dude. I wasn't doing anything special. I'm not some like troll basher. When I really talked to the dude and got him to like kind of open up a little bit, I realized like, wow. And I got in this conversation with him. I just started getting more and more frustrated. Because even a real conversation with those people will like, even a legitimate conversation, you're gonna like be upset and angry. Like these are just people you want to stay the fuck away from. And a lot of those people, they mature and grow up and grow out of it. So it's like, yeah, I'm arguing with a 16-year-old about nothing. Because I start talking, a lot of these guys too have this like similar ideology to me, fuck all the normies. The mainstream media is attacking us, the globalist New World Order agenda. Like I have a lot of the same ideology. Like a lot of these people would agree with things that I say. So it's like a frustrating thing. There have been points where I've turned, and I need to start doing that. Whenever someone trolls me, like the real victory is turning them into a friend. That's like the victory. That's the only way to win. And I've had that multiple times, Shit, Norm, I think you might have. I don't think you trolled me at first, but it was definitely like, who the fuck's this guy chatting, trying to advertise his bullshit podcast in a Cumtown 24-hour live stream. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was a little, but there's different levels. Like, there's a version of like shit talking to someone that isn't really trolling, or like just kind of messing with them and being goofy in a way that doesn't like hurt them. Like there's ways to be goofy. Yeah, I think I was like drunk or some shit. I was going on about like, fuck all these women. I'm going to get a Grindr account. And I actually made a Grindr account. It was I got just to test it out, just to see what would happen. And you get like, you get like 50 messages like right away of dudes trying to bang like now. It's fucked. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I consider you a friend. I don't have a whole lot of real life friends, so I don't really say I have fans or anything like that. I say I have some friends. I'm talking to my friends, Yeah, that was interesting times. But anyways, yeah, with that touchdown, the Ravens go up 24-10 with 14 minutes left in this football game, and that's a lot of pressure on this Texans offense. Ravens defense can play a little bit more free and aggressive. And they're the type of team, no matter what season it is, they always have guys that can play very aggressive. So in these situations, they tend to thrive. Yeah, what did I do? I bet $2 on the Texans when they were down. It was like $2 to win 16. It could still come through, but I think I'm pretty much fucked on that one. um, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I've improved myself. Um, and trying to, I am going to even start writing like comedy and stuff so that what I'm saying isn't just not riffing off my head and I have like some funny jokes made up. And more stuff like that. I'm going to have a lot more. Um, but yeah, I really want like, when I first started like Wacky Wisdom podcast, I kind of wanted it to be a project where every episode had a little bit different of a feel. And I'm trying to get back to that. I'm trying to, so like, I might not sit there and talk about the New World Order and a bunch of, pedophile, trans, this and that, like every single show. I want it almost to sound like a Come Town, the podcast called Come Town, or like, a Shane Gillis, or even like Joe Rogan when he's on there with the comedians. That was my original vision. But that vision was, okay, I'm going to take what Joe Rogan does and I'm going to hit the conspiracies like he used to, like old Joe Rogan, OG Rogan. That was kind of the mold that I wanted. And then maybe and then touches of other stuff, like the touches, like the Theo Von wacky stories, touch of that. I'm not going to make up stories though. I think Theo Von does make up some stories, and that's okay. They're funny as hell. It's art. Even maybe it didn't happen to him, whatever. Yeah, touches of cum. Yeah, touches of cum. But yeah, I got a little sucked into like, let's take down the New World Order type thing. And I don't know if that's, it's not very marketable. The people that are into that stuff kind of have their guys. They have Salty Cracker, Mark Dice, all the other big time conspiracy dudes. Like they're not moving off those guys. So yeah, but at the same time, I might have a show or two I might go off on some shit sometimes, and it might take me an hour. And if I dive into some conspiracy theory, I just want to try to have like a different, and then also doing things like segmented. So if I'm doing sports content, I'm doing it on my sports channel. Yeah, just more willingness to dive into, like how the other day I think I went on a tangent about Trailer Park Boys. Just more of that kind of stuff. There's more like, I don't have to fry the big fish with everything I do, and I got a little bit too into that. But yeah, I'm definitely working some stuff out. There'll probably be a lot less like live Wacky Wisdom podcast. And more, I'm going to try to make some videos too. And start getting into like more editing and making some good, just like 10-minute, 5-minute long videos. Now I could, if I had better editing software, I could take one of the Wacky Wisdom podcasts and I could turn that into a 10-minute video. That might be pretty good. But I really want to like find a topic and have like how the popular YouTubers do it, but do it in my way. So yeah, because live streaming, you kind of have to have a base. It's kind of hard to get yourself out there. Sports streaming, yes, you can get yourself out there just by doing these sports streams. The algorithm loves, it sees live Houston Texans versus Baltimore Ravens, and a lot of people are searching for these sports streams. But as far as the other stuff I do, it's not really algorithm worthy at this point. So yeah, if you can edit, man. We can talk about it. Now that I don't have Discord, I'm gonna leak my backup phone number at some point. So, or we'll do that at some point. Make some kind of like a big group chat in case I ever get banned off of YouTube. But yeah, you can best way to message me right now, probably Twitter. I have an AI editor. Yeah, you added me on Twitter. Yeah. Because that's how you warned. That's how you warned me of my Discord got raided. And then I immediately, of course, get sucked right into it, thinking I'm like the troll basher. Yeah, the trolls always come from Discord usually. But yeah, I don't think, and the funny thing is, it is the same dude. Like the dude that was blowing me up the other day was that Troy Razor, that original account named Troy Razor. Now it took him a whole year to come back at me after what happened last time. But he regrew his balls and started coming at me again. Once I started having a real conversation, I realized it was him. I was like, okay, I know who you are. I remember you exactly, the way you're talking and everything. But yeah, this AI editor, it makes shorts for you. It's not great, but it's very efficient. Saves a shit ton of time. And the shorts that I edit myself are only slightly better. And this one can add like the words and shit too. So if you've seen any of my new shorts recently, they got like the words and shit. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's kind of you chip away at improving the channel. I have full-time job and shit like that. So I can't go like full go at this point. I'm hoping to have like a good year this year financially, and maybe not 2025, but 2026. Maybe just a full, 1 year full go, see what I can do. But yeah, at the end of the day, I have fun doing it like it is now. So if it don't go nowhere, it don't go nowhere. But the fact that it's so fun and entertaining for me, it's like I almost sometimes feel, well, how could I possibly fail at this? I'm just going to be that dude that stuck around long enough until enough people figured me out. And that's what, that's some people. I do need to stop being lazy and make a fucking comedy routine and fucking go to an open mic and just do it. I don't know how good of a joke writer I am. I have to try and figure out. I might be good. I might suck. Although anything you do, you're going to suck at first, no matter what, for the most part. But yeah, maybe I started looking at ways on how to improve your YouTube channel. I started looking at that. Now, I'm not going to be super gravelly or anything or beg people. But it's just little things. Little things like when you share a link to your channel, you can set that link up. So when somebody hits that link and goes to your channel, it pops up and says, are you sure you want to subscribe to this person? So it immediately puts you on the hook. And a lot of people just fuck it, hit yes, sure. And then they might watch your videos and unsubscribe. But it just it's like a higher return that people would subscribe to you. So there's a lot of shit you can do. I have to be more careful about the notifications that are getting sent out. I don't want to, when I'm doing a short, that's not a good idea to have that notification sent out. The only notifications I really want to send out are like if I am streaming live and I'm on here, that's what I want to get sent out. I don't want to bombard people with shit. because it's not good for the algorithm either. If a bunch of people, if all my subscribers get a notification that a new short of mine is out, a lot of times people see it's not live and they're not gonna click it. And my shorts aren't that great. They're more of like, I hope this hits the algorithm for someone to see that it's just to try to show that I'm unique and kind of like low budget but decent content of what's coming out my mouth in terms of entertainment value. So I try to just have a quick little clip that brands that a little bit. It's not like I'm trying to get a viral clip and get out there. That Kevin Harlan one, man, that should go viral. Because there was a different clip of Kevin Harlan did go viral. I forget what he was saying, but the one where Mahomes' helmet got cracked, he got so hard and it's so cold and it cracked. Like that's true. I don't, maybe only I find it funny. But out of nowhere, Kevin Harlan, like, he got so hard. Like, that's not even me being that much of a pervert, dude. That sounds like no one would say that unless it was a sexual situation. Like, that is not me being a pervert thinking that's funny. But it was weird that I caught that live, and not a lot of people listen to the Westwood One radio. Cracked his pipe. Yeah, dude. It's what it sounded like. His dick got frozen and it cracked. I feel like that could happen. If you got hard in this kind of weather, it could crack pretty easily. Well, Lamar Jackson currently driving the football here with 9:55 left. Lamar Jackson only has 141 passing yards. That's not a whole lot, but he's got 92 rushing yards and 3 total touchdowns, and he's 15 of 21. So only 6 incompletions. He's rolling. And you expect them to chisel off some clock here and run the ball, and that they will. There goes the running back. No one even knows who these running backs are. You say running back and Baltimore Ravens in the same sentence, most people are going to say Lamar Jackson. But he happens to also be a good quarterback too, so it's like, shit. Who is that? Alex Collins? Is that who that is? I know they had a guy who wore a number in the 30s with long hair named Alex Collins. Oh my God, that was Dalvin Cook. That was Dalvin Cook. That's why we didn't know who the fuck it was. He's only played 2 snaps today. I told a bunch of people he wasn't going to do shit, damn it. I just got debunked. I said that he was barely going to play, so I was right. I said that he wasn't going to get out there much at all. At best, he gets a few carries. But, yeah, so far, both of his carries have been really good, although they were open running lanes. A lot of people with a situation like Dalvin Cook, where you have a guy who last year was a star running back in the league and suddenly is out of work playing for the New York Jets. He didn't get any action this year, really. He did not do shit, really, for the New York Jets. And when they played him, his yards per carry were extremely low. Now, some people blame that on the Jets' offensive line and their run game and offense in general. You could do that. But people are like, how the hell is this guy not a featured back on someone's team if he went off last year? If he was a great running back last year? Like, why does that happen? Well, guys, when they get older, sometimes they will have an off season where shit ain't the same, where their bodies aren't recovering the same. It's just an age drop off, or even wear and tear long term. Like your body, like, damn, I'm doing my off season training and like, this is way harder than it used to be. And then you get to training camp and you're not the same dude. And NFL is a game of inches. If you lose a little bit of your skill, you kind of lose it all. But yeah, we don't know what he looked like in practice for the Jets. They didn't give him many opportunities. Maybe he didn't look good in practice. Just didn't look that explosive. No point in throwing him out there when you have Breece Hall. who had a great season himself. That would have been fun if Cook went to the Patriots and they had Cook and Ezekiel Elliott. Who else could they have signed? They could have got like Kenny Galladay, just the washed up star player team. It's kind of what they are. I mean, Devontae Parker is one of their main players. He was never really a star player. Maybe one season for Devontae Parker. Boy, the Ravens just pounding the football pretty much up the middle. Great run there by Hill to get him a couple yards. I thought Justice Hill, I like him, but he gets hurt too. Gus Edwards is good. He ends up getting hurt. Every single season, the Ravens running backs all get hurt. It creates some issues in fantasy football drafts. Because I remember like J.K. Dobbins, if you did your draft like before the preseason or during the preseason before he got hurt, yeah, he was like a third or fourth or fifth rounder. J.K. Dobbins, maybe a little deeper than that. He gets hurt, and then there's always like another guy that gets a bunch of hype that ends up not being him. I forget the dude's name last year, but last year there was a dude. He might have been a rookie. And everybody was drafting him early, like as high as I saw, like third round. Because I think Dobbins was like a second or third rounder in fantasy last year. And this year he was still relevant because he was supposed to be their starter. But I would say his NFL career is likely scrapped. I don't know if the Ravens would have much interest, and I guess you'd bring him back as a could be a reserve. Well, there goes Lamar Jackson. What looks like play action initially just ends up being a bootleg. He just keeps it himself and runs to the end zone. There was one defender that maybe had a chance, but they couldn't make the play, and that's going to seal the deal for the Ravens. With 6:20 left, down by 21 points. You've lost the fucking game. You're done. Well, we kind of figured this would be the case today for the Ravens, the Lamar Jackson show. And now we really see, now you can really make that case where, hey, the Ravens, there's no surprise they're this far in the playoffs. Like, this isn't a surprise team at all. You knew they were going to be good, but were they going to be looking like a top 2 team? Like, it's pretty much them and San Fran at the top. But last year, they had a chance at the Super Bowl. If Lamar was healthy, they would have really, really probably maybe won it. Seeing how he's stepping up in this playoff game. I don't think his playoff stats have been that great, though, for his career. I think I heard something today that said that he has not been that good. But he is completely taking over this game. So if you had today's Lamar Jackson production level last year in the divisional round against the Chiefs instead of Tyler Huntley, oh my God. How do they not win that game? Your defense slowed down Mahomes enough to keep you in the game with Tyler Huntley. But yeah, it's debatable. It's one of those he said, she said type of things. You can't, hindsight 2020, this and that. So the Ravens will go on and they'll play either the Chiefs or the Bills. I would say, yeah, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills. That sounds like the best couple of squads left. They got it right. NFC at the moment, not so much. You got the Buccaneers, and oh my gosh, could you imagine a Buccaneers versus Packers? Jordan Love versus Baker Mayfield. 2 guys who didn't even know. Like at the end of the 2022 season, neither of those players knew if they were going to be the starter or not. and they could potentially be playing each other in the NFC Championship. Now, for that to happen, it's a long ways to go, right? The Packers got to somehow pull a miracle against the 49ers. And then what's the other game? Buccaneers versus. Dude, I should know this. How do I not know this? Buccaneers versus that other good team. The Lions. The Lions were sick this year. It's going to be hard, though. The Lions look pretty good. It'd be hard for the Buccaneers to Buccaneers to defeat them. But I don't know. It's still the Lions. Like, I mean, maybe this could be their magical year where they get all the way to the NFC Championship and lose. Oh, damn. Here goes this Sims guy on the kick return. Pretty good return up to the 30, but do we even care about this game? Oh, interesting. So there's a point where Rodgers came in for Favre when he got hurt. He looked good. See, when Love came in for Rodgers a few times, he didn't look so good. So that was why Jordan Love wasn't guaranteed. But yeah, I would say at this point he looks more than solid. He had a solid season overall, but now he's looked elite. I'd have to use the word elite for his performance last week. Now, perhaps maybe there's something in the film that the 49ers can find. You know, like, all right, this was his big game, right? This was his best performance. A lot of times a guy will have a great performance or even a great season, and the next year teams have all that film and they figure it out. They find a hole or two. And the NFL is a game of inches. If you can find one little tiny angle, one tiny little tendency that a quarterback's doing and take advantage of that tendency, you can blow up their whole shit. Instead of 300 yards, he's getting 190. I think that Sims guy kind of got fucked up. They're trying to see maybe he fumbled. Nah, he didn't fumble. Ground can't cause a fumble. Get out of here. Although, would it matter? It might be quicker if the Ravens get the ball back. Shit, they might just kneel down. Couple of kneel downs, take 2 minutes off the clock, kick a field goal, dude. If I don't think Lamar will play another snap in this game either. I would not have him out there. Give Tyler Huntley a little, keep him warm just in case. Because you're all in if you're Baltimore this year. You gotta try and win the Super Bowl. I mean, they have a good young core, and they did get Lamar locked up. So I mean, they got a pretty big window. Damn, there's a lot of good offensive rookie of the year. They need to have like AFC and NFC rookie of the year. They can't just pick one dude. Like, there's too many. Yeah, like you have CJ Stroud, Puka, Laporta. Who else was really? I don't know who else, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more. It could be all Texans. CJ could win offensive, and Will Anderson could win defensive. That might happen. So that looks crazy. Boy, if you're the Panthers, oh well, they are my second favorite team. It hurts, man. I did not like the Bryce Young pick at all. I wanted them to pick CJ. But fuck, you could have just said, "Hey, let's just pick Will Anderson." I can't pick between. I don't know who's going to be better between CJ and Bryce Young. Let's just worry about the quarterback later and get a good player in Will Anderson. But no, you pick Bryce Young, and then the Texans pick right after you, and they get both of those dudes. They trade up for Will Anderson after picking CJ Stroud. I don't know. A team having 2 top 3 picks. I know it's happened. The Browns had Baker Mayfield at 1st overall and then Denzel Ward at 4th overall. It's pretty fun to have 2 top 10 picks. Even 2 top 25 picks. I've seen that a lot being a Browns fan. There's some shit for the Browns that could happen that would I think would give us a free 3rd round pick. And it's like some like racist shit. Like if you have like a black coordinator that gets hired as a head coach, you get a free 3rd rounder for developing ethnic talent, coaching talent. Which, dude, at this point, like a lot of the players in the league for the last like 30 years have been, black. So a lot of these new coaching candidates are black anyways. It's not some diversity new shit that like the left we're doing so good. The left wing we're getting all these black coaches. Like no, they were going to be black coaches anyways. There's no like it's not so for them to say all that stuff is so fucking stupid. Like no one's complaining that a dude gets hired because he's black. Like no one complains about that. And if you look at the population of the actual breakdown of Americans, the demographics, I think technically speaking, there's a higher percentage of black coaches than there are black people in the United States. So it's like why are we pushing like why are we going crazy like this? Like they're gonna get hired. It's like shit, it's almost like bullshit for what about the Asians, dude? The hell? But yeah, it's just stuff to make people mad. I don't get into that stuff. They just do it on purpose to make people pissed. They know it will piss off one side of the political spectrum, and the other side will get pissed because they're pissed, and then they'll argue and be more miserable and be more controllable. Yeah, Native American coaches. I think Ron Rivera. No, wait, we looked that up. I thought he was Native American. And it turns out he's like South American or something. Yeah, the Native Americans want the Redskins back. I mean, if I call if I call you a redskin and you call me a white skin, why do we have a problem? I'm not mad because you call me white. My skin's white. Oh, my skin's white. There's nothing I can do. I was born this way. Don't call me white. Like, no, no one fucking says that. Like, your skin color's not offensive. Yeah, wait. Let me confirm. What was he again? Ron Rivera's like something down south. Yeah, Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican. I see Puerto Rican, but he does look Native American for sure. Although Puerto Ricans and Native Americans could be pretty close. Dude, it's rough being white, man. We have no real ethnic heritage, like most of us. We're all like 25% different ethnicities. We're all mutts. Should be, it's cool that, people can like, yeah, I go directly back to Africa and shit or Asia. So yeah, I'm allowed to make fun of people because I'm not anything. I don't get to identify with anything. It hurts. It just hurts me every day. I can't take it. But yeah, I try not to talk about I try not to dig too much into it anymore because it's only gonna get worse. So you can either be like miserable about it or just laugh at it. Yeah, Lovey Smith. Oh, Ron Rivera was the linebackers coach for the Bears. That'd be a good group. Bring in. I don't know what Lovey's doing though. I think he's isn't he kind of older? He might be done. But yeah, I do want to know like whoever said no one ever said black people can't be coaches. They are coaches all the time. Mike Tomlin. And they're really good coaches. Like, look at the dude on the Texans. D'Amico Ryans, former player. Again, a lot of these former players are retiring and becoming coaches. I just yeah, why have an outrage on one side when there's no outrage on the other? I don't they just make shit up, and then people just get pulled into it. Yeah, Lovey with his white beard. Yeah, I do remember seeing him, like, somewhere with that white beard on a sideline as a college coach, yeah. So the Bears, I think they kept their coach, right? Yeah. They're not one of the teams looking for a new head coach. They did it, they had a solid year, kinda. They were okay. There was times that the Bears looked fucking miserable, but there was times they looked pretty damn competitive. Coming into the year, I felt like they'd be a good potentially, like, a team to watch that would go from being horrible, horrible to mediocre. That's kinda what happened. I thought the Bears had a better chance at the playoffs than the Texans. But CJ was, like, instantly better than Justin Fields, which CJ Stroud was technically better than Justin Fields at Ohio State too. I think Fields averaged, like, 280, 290 passing yards per game, and CJ was, like, over 300 most years. Yeah, hopefully the Bears man, you better hope they don't pick Caleb Williams. I'd stay away from him, especially if you already have Justin Fields. I think he's done enough where he deserves, more time in there. I mean, you've seen him throw some beautiful passes. Really, what throws him off is when he gets sacked, like, 5 times in a row, and none of his dudes are open, so he's having to run for his life, and then his offensive line sucked. Like, throw him on the Cleveland Browns with a healthy offensive line, he might give you exactly what Watson could give you. But yeah, anyway, 2:38 and ticking left in the game. I don't have anything else left to say. I have spent my energy. So, yeah, I'm going to end the stream. I'm gonna make a chat room for the next one, little chat stream, just to kind of advertise the channel and, um, you know, I kind of like just put in the description what I'm all about and couple describe myself a little bit, and it does work. I do get a couple people seem to subscribe during those. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later. As always, keep it fucking real, and we will catch you next time. Peace.